Hello there ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here and it's time for a new video. It's time for a new pickups video today actually. And in today's pickups video, well, what can I say, there is a hell of a lot of content here to get through, both digital and physical pickups. And as such, I am going to skim through these much more quickly than I usually do. And usually, I discuss these games in order of when I purchased them. This time that isn't the case. I'm going to go through the few digital pickups that I've made in the last 3 months and then the physical pickups. So, we're going to begin with a game that I'm surprised is even on this list. I would have thought it was in the last pickups video, but hey, I've written it down, so must be correct, I'm guessing. And that is Tomb Raider, the 2013 reboot of the series, the franchise, I guess you'd call it. And overall, I had a good experience on the game, to be honest. I was going to pick it up physically, but it must have been, I don't know, February, March time, possibly. I saw it was on Xbox Live for free, purchased it, then eventually played it, and I did really enjoy it. Good game and gun mechanics, nice graphics, intriguing story, the leveling up was satisfying, much less puzzle orientated than the old Tomb Raider games, but yeah, overall, I had a good experience of it, and I am going to be streaming it again on hard mode on Twitch in the future and playing it for myself, of course. And if I do that, if I complete the game on normal mode and then I want to do it on hard mode the second time, play through it again, get more achievements, etc, etc, it shows that overall I've had a good experience on the game and I'd enjoy it. Not one of my favourite games of all time by any means, but overall, good stuff. Next came Gears of War Judgment, which was also free on Xbox Live, which was absolutely fantastic to see because I was just going to pick it up after purchasing Gears of War free. But obviously Gears of War Judgment didn't quite receive the same critical acclaim as the first 3 games, and I can see why after completing it, but because I'm a casual fan of the series, I still enjoyed it. Basically the biggest difference between Gears of War Judgment and the other 3 Gears of War games is that the gameplay is broken down, so instead of a full long story, and the Gears of War games are quite lengthy, average length I guess for modern games. Gears of War Judgment is much shorter, but you get to play as all 4 available characters in the game, and the weapons are a little different. The enemies, there's a few different ones here and there, but like I said, it's the story which irked most like true hardcore Gears of War fans, the story and the gameplay, I guess. But to be honest, I still enjoyed it, but the 3rd Gears of War game is still my favourite in the series. So for free, I can't complain really, but I do understand the concerns of hardcore fans. And supposedly there's going to be a remastered version of the first Gears of War game. Well, I'm not sure what I think about that, to be honest with you. A 9-year-old game, does it really need a remaster? I don't know. Leave me your comments in the comments section, ladies and gentlemen. It is an intriguing one. The excuse, and I say excuse, the reason I should say that most people give for making a remastered game, something like Gears of War 1, is because there are younger people now who haven't played the first Gears of War, and I guess, yeah, that makes sense, but there are a hell of a lot of games being remastered now, and there is a true, genuine lack of new original games coming out on the PS4 and Xbox One. I think this has been a really underwhelming start, and a lot of people, like myself, still have PS3s and Xbox 360s. We're just waiting for a reason to buy an Xbox One and PS4. For me personally right now, I've still not got one, to be honest with you, and we'll just have to wait and see, because these consoles are going to be around for another 10 years or so, yeah, at least the PS4 and Xbox One I'm talking about. So it's early days, but yeah, all these remastered games, it's a little bit of a worry. Anyway, one more digital pickup to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, and that was Mafia 2. Not much to say on this one, to be honest with you. A game I did enjoy, but I thought it was I thought it was very linear. The story was a little bit expected and stereotypical, and the gunplay was a little bit irritating at times for me. And that's the washing machine you can hear in the background, by the way. Either that or the house is coming down. Perhaps the house is coming down, I don't know. We'll find out in this video, ladies and gentlemen. Quite exciting for you guys, not for me. But yeah, I think it's the washing machine, good God. But Mafia 2, yeah. Set in the late 1940s, early 1950s. It's a good game. I never played the first Mafia. I was intending on purchasing it as well. It would have only cost me between £5 and £10. But to be honest with you, I'm glad it was released for free on Xbox Live, because it wasn't an amazing game by any means, but I did enjoy it, and I will complete it, like I said, with Tomb Raider on the harder difficulties in the future. Now, let's get to the physical pickups, and a game that I haven't completed yet. In fact, none of these games I've completed yet, but I have purchased them, picked them up, and I am going to be streaming them on Twitch in the future and playing them. And first of all, I'm going to talk about 2 games in the same series, and that is Fallout 3 here and Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas was the game released after Fallout 3, so it's the 4th in this series, but I purchased this one first, and when I did purchase it, I knew I had to get Fallout 3. I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this, guys, but I believe that Fallout 1 and 2 were only released on the PC. Might be wrong, but I'm going to guess that that was the case. And it makes sense to me when I see, because I've seen little snippets online, gameplay footage, check Wikipedia, etc., etc., what these games are like and what they entail. I'm not surprised if they were only released on PC back in the day, because there is a lot to do here. There's a lot of different gameplay mechanics on shore. You can play in either first or third person. You can talk to people in the environment around you, or you can blast the head off. You know, you can be democratic about things, or you can just shoot people. You've got a lot of different weapons, a lot of different upgrades to do on this thing called a Pip-Boy 3000. And yeah, it looks like a game that goes on and on, really long, and tons of things to explore. And you can tell that by just checking out the guide here, because look at all that content. This game was released in 2008, and you don't get manuals like this for modern games anymore. So for someone like me who's completely blind and playing the series for the first time, it's going to be interesting. There are tons of things here. The leveling up system seems very important. The Pip-Boy 3000 hopefully will be my guide. But yeah, when I do stream this, I'm not going to be too upset at people offering me advice, but of course there is difference between advice and pure backseat gaming. But nevertheless, it's going to be an intriguing series to get into. It's a post-apocalyptic world. I love anything post-apocalyptic, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, we'll just have to see. I can't speak any more of these games. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. What I will say though is it's going to be one hell of an experience. Look like really intriguing games, and they were both held in such critical acclaim, high critical acclaim. So we'll see. And this game was held in such high critical acclaim as well. And I do have the first game. I just never managed to get into it. I need to try. It's just time constraints and the fact that, quite simply, I haven't. I've no excuse. Supposedly this game is the best in the series. The third game, the ending, I don't know why. I don't want to know why. But supposedly the ending of the third game made people very salty. But it is Mass Effect 2. And I started playing the first Mass Effect last year. I've got frog in my throat, ladies and gentlemen. We're good. Anyway, yeah, I started playing the first game last summer, and I was enjoying it. And basically, I started playing it when I had a lot of time on my hands, and then in the weeks after I purchased it, I didn't have that time on my hands. I never went back to it. But it's very enjoyable, and similar to Fallout, it's got a lot of variety to the game in terms of upgrades, leveling up. This is purely third person, so that gets a thumbs up from me. It's sci-fi as well. I like sci-fi if it's violent and brutal. This game's got a 15 certificate. The first game has a 12 certificate. But, oh god, it's also a 2-disc game as well, so it must be quite lengthy. And I kind of wish that I'd kept, because on the first game you can make your own character up, or you can keep it as the Shepherd guy there, but your last name stays as Shepherd, I think. So I made my own character up, but I wish now that I'd kept it as a default dude, to be honest with you. I don't know anything about the Mass Effect games. I got about 20% into the game, to be honest with you, but I only got one achievement on Xbox Live, so it must be a massive game. And yet again, just like Fallout again, there's a lot of dialogue here, a lot of multiple questions and answer kind of things going on. Yeah, and that's another aspect of the game. You assemble a team of powerful operatives, and they've all got different skills and whatnot that can help you out in battle. So that's pretty interesting as well. It's definitely going to be a lengthy, intriguing game, the same as Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and that's what I wanted to get into, you know. So we'll see, but I'm happy to pick it up at just £3, ladies and gentlemen, just £3. And now, 2 more games, and I've actually done well to keep this under 10 minutes so far. Didn't expect this to happen. Holy shit. But at Game, yeah, it's not Game Station anymore, it's purely Game. They had an offer where if you bought 2 games, right, one was £4 and one was £2, you got the cheapest game free. So let's say you buy a game for £4 and £2, the one that is also £2. So you don't end up paying £8, you end up paying £6, if you understand what I mean. And that's what happened here. I'll just show you the next 2 games I purchased. Halo 3 ODST, and he's gone and done it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Resident Evil 6. So I believe these 2 cost £3 and this cost £4. So instead of it being £10, yeah, that's right, it was 7. And so I can say that I didn't actually purchase this one. But yeah, this one I didn't actually notice, because I'm a bit daft sometimes, that offer was on. So I purchased Mass Effect 2 and Resident Evil 6, and then he told me about the offer. I tried to find a game that was the same price as Resident Evil 6, and after about 5 minutes of looking, I realised that there wasn't anything on offer that I wanted, really. But I ended up just getting Halo 3. And you guys might know that I'm not a first-person fan, first-person shooter whatsoever. I know there's a huge multiplayer with Halo, and it obviously is an Xbox exclusive as well. I guess that was in my mind somewhat, that I wanted an Xbox exclusive, because obviously with a 360 and not a PS3, I've missed out on games like Heavy Rain and The Last of Us. But you know, Xbox, we've got Alan Wake, Gears of War, Halo. Not bad. I don't like console exclusives. I've spoken about that in the past. But the campaign of this is supposed to be quite short. But this is my introduction to the series, so even though this didn't quite receive the same level of acclaim that the first 3 Halo games did, perhaps this might be a good entry into the series for me, because I'm not that bothered about the story. I just want to shoot shit, ladies and gentlemen. And that'll allow me to do that. Now let's see what I think of it. If I really like it, I'll probably purchase Halo 2, because even though that game is 12 years old, no, 11 years old, 2004, it's supposed to be really good still. A landmark first-person shooter game, if you will. But this certainly isn't a landmark game, ladies and gentlemen. But I promised my followers on Twitch TV that when I reached 100 followers, I would purchase it. And so I have. There is going to be a hell of a lot of content here, but how good that content is, well and truly, remains to be seen, of course. It is the infamous Resident Evil 6. It is the infamous giraffe getting oral sex on the front of the cover. You can't unsee it once you've seen it, ladies and gentlemen. You can't unsee it once you've seen it. That's a giraffe receiving oral sex. What were they thinking? Well, in the next few weeks, I'm going to be completing this game for the first time. And of course, what has been said about this game that I can add to the table? You know, it's just bring to the table, I should say. It's just, good God, is that Nemesis on the back there? I don't know. Just reading this Resident Evil Damnation thing at the back. But Resident Evil 5, back when it was released in 2009, it got a lot of criticism from the old school fans, but overall, when all was said and done, it was still a good, fun game. It was a little clunkier than Resident Evil 4, the enforced co-op annoyed me, Sheva's AI at times annoyed me, the setting in Africa, obviously, it wasn't dark, it wasn't grisly, well, it was still grisly, but it was just obviously much more action-orientated, and it was obvious that this was the direction the series was going in. And in this game, you've got a... I've not completed it yet, so I can't say for sure, but I've seen little bits of gameplay footage, and I know that Leon's campaign especially harkens back to Resident Evil 2 and 3, because it's a darkened city at night, that kind of environment. True zombies as well, not Ganardos or Las Plagas or whatever the hell they call them 4 and 5. Maginis? I think that's what they call it in the 5th game. But there's also a campaign where you play as Chris as well, where you play as Piers, not Piers, what's his name? Jake, that's it. We play as Jake, Wesker's son, and Sherry as well, and also an Ada campaign. From what I've heard and what I've been told, I'm going to enjoy Leon's campaign more. Supposedly Chris's is pure out all action, but I wouldn't be surprised if elements of this game surprise me, and elements of it I enjoy more than I realise I am going to, you know. But with the amount of quick time events and just pure bullshit as well, there are going to be parts that I hate. It's a huge game, there are tons of different campaigns, a whole host of content. It seems like they did, on release, try to please everyone with this game, but I've heard the the mechanics are pretty clunky. The over-the-shoulder look, it looks a bit too close. The way that Leon runs in this game is pretty bizarre, but as a huge Resident Evil fan of the old school series, it's going to be interesting to play, but I want to forge my own opinion. But, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. Mass Effect 2, Halo 3 ODST, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, Resi 6, Mafia 2, Gears of War, Judgment, Tomb Raider. And I've also purchased the Game of Thrones game by Telltale Games in that time. I've got a mixed opinion on that so far. I'm kind of enjoying it, but it's kind of making me salty as well. But anyway, there we go. It's getting close to 16 minutes here now, just for a pickups video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in a few months for my next pickups video. And in terms of playthroughs on the channel, there's going to be one coming up within the next month, so look out for that. But anyway, see you soon. Bye bye.